Hey, you get this will get deleted by eventually, but basically, uh, so I'm one of the owners of this podcast. I'm the guy who created it. This is a podcast basically for a brand, you know. Basically, this is going to be a podcast that you're going to see two individuals that are part of another podcast that are getting their individual podcast. So basically, they're going to basically have their own podcast. Like they're going to create content, they're going to upload, and I think you guys will really enjoy their content. They've got a really good sense of humor. Not like most of these other people nowadays on podcast. But either way, I think you guys will enjoy these people, and I can't wait for you guys to meet them on May the 5th. Yeah, I said it right. You're going to get this podcast is launching May the 5th. Let me say it again. May the 5th. That is when it's launching. That's when this podcast is launching. May the 5th. But by the time that you May the 5th happens, we'll have recorded two seasons of podcasts. It's just the everyday thing of a podcaster, We operate, in case you guys are wondering who we are the Sketch Network. We have multiple different podcasts. You might have heard of the Team Sketch podcast. You might have heard of the Risk 11 podcast. You might have heard of the Jamie Loney Show. That's another podcast that is on Anchor. We have a bunch of different podcasts on Anchor, and we can't wait for you guys to see. But this podcast is launching May the 5th. You guys will have and get to enjoy varied treats of content. But until then, until this launches on May the 5th, you guys can check us out on the Risk 11 podcast, Team Sketch podcast, and not to mention the Jamie Loney podcast. I think you guys will really love these people that we're bringing onto this podcast, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. Either way, I'm the guy that created this podcast, and I'll see you guys later.